What's up, guys? Jade's Corner back here again for yet another video of my fantasy fight / who would win series. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over who would win between Derek Hale Evolved and Alpha Scott McCall. Now, last video was very controversial to say the least. True Alpha Scott versus Alpha Peter. A lot of Peter fans were pissed off, and it's at like what, almost 10 dislikes to like 60 something likes. So definitely split between the middle on people viewing that video and agreeing with agreeing or disagreeing with the outcome. Hopefully this video is a lot more on the positive side in terms of the viewers, because I know the last video everybody was pissed off because like, oh my god, Scott, you picked Scott over Peter. Oh, going on some bullshit. But anyway, about 74% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you guys could please subscribe if you enjoy Teen Wolf content, Vampire Diaries content, and all that other stuff relating to like horror television shows. Be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so not going to go over of Derek Hale Evolved or True Alpha Scott in this video. Talked about Derek numerous times on the channel. Talked about Scott numerous times on the channel. So we're just going to get into who I think would win. Now, the winner of this matchup I see coming out on top in this is Derek Hale Evolved. And the reason for that is because he did one thing, or actually multiple things, that Scott McCall wasn't able to do. Scott is a strong alpha in his own right. I'd argue he's the second strongest alpha aside from Deucalion. But we've seen that evolved werewolves are just in a class of their own, such as Talia Hale. Well, you can make the argument that she didn't really do anything in terms of like feats, but you know, Derek hyped her up. Deucalion even said she was very, very strong. So yeah, we can't take those, you know, we can't take her not showing any feats into account, but we can take those statements into account, saying that Deucalion is the most powerful alpha we've seen on the show. And if he's complimenting on Talia Hale for being extremely powerful, and so is Derek and Peter, by the way, then yeah, evolved alphas or evolved werewolves in general are definitely something to strive for, and are definitely some of the most powerful werewolves you could probably encounter in this universe as well. But we've seen the power of Derek Hale Evolved mostly in the episode Smoke and Mirrors, because it's really the only episode where we got to see his power displayed. We're not talking about Derek from season 6 because you know, Jeff Davis completely butchered Derek's character in season 6, but we're just going to be talking about Derek from season 4. Now, a lot of people like to say that you can't really say Derek can beat Alpha Scott because we only got one episode with Derek doing stuff. Actually you can, because Derek in that episode does feats that Scott wasn't even able to do by himself one-on-one against some of these characters. Now, Derek, when he came back to life and became an evolved werewolf, was able to easily take out a berserker within seconds, and that wasn't even when he was transformed. He was still in his human state. He ran up to a berserker and broke his mask within about the 5 to 10 second range. And then once he transformed, he took out Kate Argent in her Were-Jaguar state pretty quickly and mortally wounded her, which means, you know, in other words, pretty much almost killing her with one attack alone. Meanwhile, Scott McCall was bitching and running from 2 berserkers, couldn't even fight or take out 2 berserkers by himself. And mind you, Kira and Malia were there too, but they were bitching along with him and running away. And, you know, even teenage Derek came and fought and scared off the Berserkers just by himself as a teenager. And yeah, Scott McCall wasn't able to deal with the Berserkers also during his fight with Kate. And a lot of people like to say, well, Scott fought the Berserker, he wasn't really fighting Kate. No, go rewatch the scene. Just rewatched that scene a few days ago. Kira was there and she was fighting the Berserker for most of that fight. Scott fought Kate one-on-one and absolutely got fucking murdered by her. Got freaking destroyed bad, to the point where he was like bloodied up and beaten the hell up and just laying flat on his ass looking up at the lights. So yeah, Kate Argent definitely stronger than Alpha Scott McCall for sure, if he got an ass whooping like the one he did from her. And Derek mortally wounded her within one hit. So yeah, clear, pretty clear and pretty easy to say that Derek is way stronger than Alpha Scott as a evolved werewolf. And people like to make the argument that, oh, true alpha is a special case. Not really. It's really just a non-violent way of becoming a werewolf. And it's not really earned either, because it's like, oh, if you're a good person, then you're congratulated by having a non-violent way of becoming a werewolf because you have a good force of will and you're a good person. Blah, 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 this and that. True alpha is kind of lame. Probably make a video on explaining why true alpha is kind of lame some other time. But yeah, I can definitely see Derek coming out on top in this for sure. Scott would put up a pretty decent fight against Derek, since they have fought numerous times in the past. Mind you, that Derek, when he fought Scott those previous times, he had more experience than him in the case of when they fought as betas. When they fought as alphas, Derek had a significant power boost as an alpha, so Scott had no chance to beat him. And you could argue that they have an even more even playing field, because true alpha Scott's way stronger than Derek was as an alpha. The show's proved that many times with the fights that Scott has had. And you know, Derek Hale Evolved is the strongest version of Derek we've seen. Far surpasses Alpha Derek. Far surpasses Derek when he was a beta in season 4, 3, and 1. So yeah, definitely a very close fight in my opinion. It's a lot closer than Alpha Scott versus Alpha Peter, in my honest opinion. And I could see Scott, you know, giving Derek a good run for his money, especially Scott towards the end of the series, because, you know, Scott towards the end of the series, he's been a werewolf for what, 2-3 years. I would say he's pretty experienced by that point. He knows how to use his powers well, as opposed to the other times he fought Derek. He was like a werewolf for like what, 7-8 months at the time. So yeah, definitely would be a way better fight, way more close this time around. But I'm gonna name some other you know, feats, and well, not feats, but really abilities that help Derek out in this fight and why I think he would win too. Derek is one of the best technical fighters we've ever seen in Teen Wolf. His fighting skill is damn near on par with Kali's, and I would argue that Kali's the best hand-to-hand fighter in Teen Wolf, and I would say Derek comes in a very close second. Derek uses his environment to his advantage as well. Scott really doesn't use his environment that much. He really uses his athleticism and agility to, you know, get around opponents and fight them. But we've seen that Derek is kind of like the Hulk in the MCU. He likes to use his environment to his advantage whenever he can. And Derek, in terms of fighting skill, can pretty much take out any stronger opponent than him. Well, I wouldn't say any stronger opponent, but, you know, most of them, because of, you know, his fighting technique. And plus, he's been trained to fight since he was a kid by his mom, and I'm assuming Peter as well. So yeah, Derek definitely has way better fighting skill than Scott as well, even though you could argue that Scott is also one of the best hand-to-hand fighters in the series too. And you can definitely see that with Scott's fight with Omega Peter and Smoke and Mirrors. So yeah, definitely would be a close fight, but I think that Derek Hale Evolved is coming out in this probably, I would say, maybe 8 to 9 times out of 10. So yeah, the winner of this fight is Derek Hale Evolved. Hopefully you guys agree with the outcome, and remember, it's just my opinion. Sometimes some things I say are fact because it's what happened in the show, but all these outcomes, they're just hypothetical fights and they're my opinion. If you don't agree, please provide your reasons why. And if you have a problem with what I say, provide contextual and factual evidence to back up your claims, and basically prove me wrong if you can. So yeah, make sure you guys like the video if you enjoyed. Also, leave a comment like I mentioned before. Subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so that you never miss a future upload from me. Without further ado, I'm Jade's Corner. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity as always. I will catch you guys in the next video. Deuces.